Clark James does movie effects and a little magic. His best friend Patrick Denver is a certified special effects guru.
And I always get the jack into the job.
They travel the country recreating paranormal events to try and figure out if these things were faked.
You like that, huh?
Or if there's something that can't be explained.
Beware.
They do it in the real places with the real people.
I want a human cadaver.
And they do it with style.
Are they scientists?
Join them for their journey into the unknown and beyond. Next on the X-Testers. These glowing objects really visitors from another planet? Can we figure out if this is really a ghost captured on video? Can we fake flying aliens with jetpacks? We'll find out. But first, let's try and unravel Case 567. The mystery of the Phoenix Lights. These are the now famous Phoenix Lights. For years, people have been videotaping these mysterious luminous objects. No one knows what they are, and to this day, they remain unidentified.
Now, this is one of my favorite UFO sightings. It was late 1990s in Phoenix, Arizona. It raised a fury of talk on the internet, and of course it was claimed to have been seen in many cities.
When I saw this on CNN, I thought it was really cool because, it looks like just the edge of a giant spaceship, like coming over the horizon there. And it really, it was kind of scary at the time.
It is, kind of shades of Independence Day.
Well, what should we get together to try to hoax this one?
Well, we need to put some lights in the sky somehow. Mm-hmm. How would you think we would do that?
Well, you grab the flare gun, I'll grab some diodes, and we'll head out to Phoenix.
Don't forget the helium.
Okay.
We've come to Phoenix, Arizona, the home of Mike Crisden, one man who's videotaped the mysterious Phoenix Lights.
Hi, Mike.
Yes.
I'm Clark.
Clark, nice to meet you.
Hey, Patrick.
Patrick,
Hi.
good to meet you.
Okay, well, why don't you show us where the event happened and you can tell us a little bit about it.
Follow me and I'll take you to the spot where I did the filming.
Have to scale the walls?
Yeah, this is the hard way of getting there, but
it's like a prison break.
Yeah,
I can handle this.
Okay.
Not a problem.
And from here, we got a view of the Sierra Estrella Mountains. Where I did the videotaping that night was right in this area here. Further east than I've ever seen them before.
Mm-hmm.
So I grabbed the camera and I got out here to take a video, started shooting the video of it, and the light disappeared. And then it dropped down and it showed up below this ridge, just right about in there. And I started photographing that. Another one appeared here. And before I knew it, they started coming on in this formation of an arc.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying this happened in front of the mountains that are in the far background there.
I believe they are, because the lights look much larger than anything I've seen before.
Well, you know what would be really nice is maybe to start this off by taking a look at the video footage.
Mm-hmm. You know, people have asked me, well, do you think it's a spaceship? Well, I have no way of proving it. I just happened to shoot lights that night. I can tell you this, I don't believe that they are flares.
Well, technically, then that would be a UFO, wouldn't it? It's unidentified.
It's flying?
It is looks like an object.
Or a UHL, unidentified hanging light.
Okay, well.
So what we're going to do tonight is try to recreate these lights using a little bit of more Hollywood or film techniques. We've got a little bit of work to do outside to do some rigging and stuff, and obviously wait till it gets dark before we start our test.
For X-Test 1, we're going to string 6 helium-filled balloons in a row and place LED lights inside them to try and simulate the Phoenix Lights phenomenon.
Someone's going in the pool.
Well, this is just a power supply. That's just so we can have some voltage. We're going to put some lights in our balloons.
I think it's a little too windy. How long till it pops? Seconds.
I guess I better prep these before it gets dark.
Ooh. That hurts. Getting to know the cactus on an intimate basis.
My God.
Oh my, Captain.
Oh my. So we've got here are some LEDs.
For those rave
see, it
parties. It's a good look for you,
That's life unscripted.
but overly rehearsed.
So I think we're ready to make our little UFOs happen. Is there anything else that we need to have together before?
We got the balloons are ready to go. The LEDs are all soldered. Our foam core's up, ready to put the fiber optics.
Fiber optic. We got to get those set up.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, we already get on that. What I should do is maybe hold the spool here as you go out that way.
The plan is to launch the balloons to get a glowing objects in the sky look.
That's just wrong.
Well, that's real convincing. Well, we've got one of our small balloons anchored to our heavy lift balloon. Well, the balloon is actually going to capture the light inside of it to give it a round shape rather than just a point source. So it's going to increase the size, but in this case, that's not a good thing because there's a bluff right there, so we can't get as far as we wanted to away from the house to get the balloons the right size. So due to the extraneous conditions, we had to make the balloons a little smaller so we don't have enough helium to lift them up. So especially with all the wires, well, it's been a little bit of a drag. I have a feeling it's going to be a little too windy for this to work, but we're going to give it a test right now and then go to plan B. Cue the lights.
All right, I think that's it.
Wow. It's about 10 times too big. So I think we're going to go to plan J.
No point in hanging the rest of the balloons. Let's just go to our next test.
That's
Big
going to
time.
really light up the wires.
How about if we put them above the wire then?
Oh, yeah, do that. Put them above and point them up.
For X-Test 2, we'll go into our Hollywood bag of tricks and use invisible black thread and LED lights.
Space age technology. This is technology reverse engineered from alien spacecrafts.
We're strung the line across the two stands. We've attached our LED light sources on here. When we turn off the main lights around here, all this black thread will disappear, and then we'll go ahead and light them up one by one and see what it looks like in the monitor real quick.
Okay, very good. Why don't you kill the lights? Okay, here we go. Light number 1.
Whoa, there it is. I think they should be a little higher.
Hey, Mike, should they be up higher?
Yeah, I think slightly higher. And they're a little bit too big for the rest of the landscape.
You know, we can hit them with a little black paint. Actually, I can turn them down a little. Let me try that real quick. How's that?
That's better.
All right, here we go.
This was the lower voltage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Looks good.
There's another one.
Going good.
Oh, look at this.
It's amazing. It's absolutely
yeah.
amazing. I wouldn't have gone through all that trouble of filming it that night if I'd known I could have done with LEDs.
Okay, let's hear from our witness.
Very, very similar. The only thing that's different is the way the lights appear. When they come on, they just go from off to on. If you look at that footage again, it looks like they almost started with a pinpoint and they grew, and then they shrank when they went off, rather than just disappearing. But that's very, 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 very good.
What we're doing right here is setting up a sort of a foreground cutout of the sky. And Patrick's going to rough in the contour of the hillside that's here in our foreground, here on the left, so that it'll be seen right under here. This will become a black sky. And we can punch a few holes in here, put some fiber optics in it, and then we can light those fiber optics manually, one at a time, and try to get the same effect as that happened on that fateful night.
You know, I think we're going to have to just lose that cactus completely. Can you just go ahead and hack it off for me?
Oh, just do what?
Oh, you know, I've got even better. You're going to love this one. I'm going to black tape off the top so it looks like it ends next to the other one, right? So instead of it making it look like it goes out of frame, right? We bring some black down here.
Oh, and just do a little cutout on the top of the black?
Yeah, just make it look like they end here.
Yeah, sure.
That'll work, right?
Yeah.
All we know is it's magic and it works.
That's good enough for
That's
Patrick.
all we need to say.
Okay, go up. Oh, right there. Oh, wait, down.
As a variation, we'll replace the sky with a large black card. Cut the edge of the card to match the horizon, and then punch holes in the card and fill them with LEDs.
Fiber optics with small clear beads glued on the end. We use these for street lights and other point of source for like miniatures and models. So we'll go ahead and feed these through now. This really doesn't prove or disprove the fact that the UFOs were or weren't there, or they were flares. I guess the only thing it really could prove is that if they were of the hoaxing types here, this is one way that they could have done it. And you get pretty much the same results for the looks. Yep. Pretty simple. So what we've done is we've cut the line to match our background as far as the hill goes here. This represents the skyline at the bottom of the hill. We went ahead and put our lights in our place where we like them, in that same arc. So what we want to do is turn out the lights and get a, let's say, a brightness test to see if this flashlight's going to work.
Idea. Yeah, kill the lights, please. Okay, and action.
Looking good, looking good. You got 3 lights. Looks pretty good. It's very, very close, very close. Very difficult to tell the difference. I can almost see the people on the spaceship.
6. 6 is coming up. There we go. Beautiful.
For us, this works.
I think it's good. I think it's good. Yeah, it's good.
All right.
The results look good, but unless the original sighting was hoaxed, we need to find another approach. We've come down the mountain to Lake Pleasant to rent a boat for X-Test 4. We're going to fire off a series of flares from a boat to try and duplicate the Phoenix Lights phenomenon.
How's it going? Pretty good. How are you?
Patrick? I'm really the star of the show. Don't let me
You're familiar with the Phoenix Lights?
Yeah.
That happened here, what was that, 97 or so?
We saw some, lights here and there. Just we always figured helicopters, airplanes.
Yeah.
But just never know.
And so we're going to, play along with the theory that perhaps they were military flares. And we're going to go out here on a boat. The military wouldn't let us borrow a plane. So they're going to let us go out here on a boat and shoot some flares into the sky. And we're going to photograph it and compare them, see how they look. And so we understand you've got some boats here.
We have lots of boats.
Yeah?
Yep.
Can we have one?
You can have one for the
I want one.
price low price.
We've got a bag full of flares on a boat. What could go wrong?
You smoke? Yes, I do. Okay, just don't flick your cigarettes into that bag.
Now that we've got that under control, let's meet someone else who has videotaped the Phoenix Lights. Jeff Willes.
This is my footage right here. This is it. Hey, this is the May 12th, 2005 footage that I shot over the opposite side of the valley, which is the northwest Phoenix area. So we're looking at 5 original lights, and as they're moving across the sky, one is going out, a new one is appearing. I've always been interested in UFOs since I saw a UFO in Seattle when I was like 10 years old. So from that time, I always had a 35mm camera just waiting to take a picture of UFO. So when I got to Phoenix, I heard all these stories about lights in the sky. So eventually I bought a video camera and I started videotaping during the day, and I started getting stuff at like objects in the sky during the daytime a lot. I was on top of the mountain, and about 7:30, my friend saw 3 lights, and he was like, "Hey, what's that?" And so we zoomed in, and we were like, "Well, those aren't planes, those aren't flares. They just look like glowing orbs moving south towards Tucson, and they're like glowing orbs of light that just travel very, very slow and eventually out of sight." I think they're definitely UFOs. They're definitely strange in nature because of the light. They're kind of like a white, glowing yellow type of light, between white and yellow, and they move very, very slow.
So tonight, I guess what we want to do is put some flares in the sky in the same row. Hopefully we'll get a nice, good half-minute of burn out of them. You and Patrick will go up onto a hill here, and with a couple of cameras.
Okay.
And I'll go out on the boat, kind of far away, and we'll try to achieve the same kind of perspective, same kind of angle looking up at these, and we'll just try to create the same thing out on the lake.
take the camera gear up to Vista Point and with the help of Captain Jay, determine the best location for our boat.
We're going to move the boat out. We're going to take it out into the middle of the lake towards the southern end, in between the 2 points of reference, the lights on the north end and the south end. We're going to put the boat out in the center. We're going to shoot off the test flares and make sure the boat's set up. You know, whether we need to move north or south with the boat, wherever we need to put it. But once we're set, you know, we're ready to roll, you know.
All right, well, chop, chop, people.
Ready to do it.
Get rolling.
If you need anything, you're on your own.
To start, we'll fire one flare as a height test.
But we're going to fire the first one and kind of see what it does, and then have any adjustments we need to make, and then we'll be ready to fire off a little barrage.
Okay, so how close are we to test flare?
How close do you want to be?
Just let me know when you're getting close.
Let's see. I guess the arrow points in the direction it's going to go. I guess I want to send it in the right direction, don't I? That looks like a top. That looks like a bottom.
We're ready up here.
Yow! Well, that's nice. It goes up. That's nice because it actually ignites once it's up there.
What do you guys think of that?
Height is good. Height is good.
X-Test 4 will try two ways. The first, shooting the flares into the wind.
So the first one is going to be 5 flares. Okay, I'm going hot, guys.
What's that line? You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, the flares are out. Let's see what our witness thinks.
Definitely flare. You can totally see the smoke.
I think it was good as far as the actual height of the flares went and everything. They weren't in the right order or anything like that. So we'll see if Clark can nail it this time. I'm sure he'll have a great excuse why that didn't work out.
We're going to fire into the wind again to try and get a closer match to the original.
Okay, so we're hot. We're going to go here. Oh, that one just did a curve. See, they steer on their own a little, too.
What? No, that one's supposed to be back. Oh, that's not in a line. Those definitely were not in a line, sir.
Tell that to the stupid rockets. You should see them when they fly out of this little tube. They start turning all sorts of weird directions.
Wow, that was awesome.
Why don't I believe you?
Because you know better.
Okay, well, the wind is really picking up out here, so that's a big fight as well. Once these things go up, they're fighting the wind.
Sounds like a big excuse to me, Clark.
Yeah, it works for me.
You ready?
Look, a UFO!
Now this is interesting. You see this other light over here that came up? That's reflecting off. And that's above the mountains, right?
Yeah, it looks that way.
It's way up above, and it just came on, too.
It's probably a UFO coming to check out the flares.
We fired the flares into the wind twice with similar results. Now we'll shoot them with the wind.
This is the third and final test, and what we've done at Captain Jay's excellent suggestion, we've turned the boat around, and we're going to shoot it with the wind this time.
You guys ready up there? We got fire in the hole.
Ready when you are.
Wow, look, it just went back. So that one. Wow, how's that happening? The wind must be turning around up there.
Hey, nice circle.
I was trying to do that smiley face gag that they said in the notes.
You almost got it.
It's pretty close.
Hey, this looks like a triangle. I see triangle here.
Not from this angle, you don't.
Both versions of X-Test 4, takes 1 and 2 with flares, were very similar to the original.
this is the video we just shot, and it's interesting seeing how slowly they seem to be falling. Now, we are closer to these, so we're getting a little more of a blooming, a little more of a halo around them.
For flares to keep a sequential line the whole way down, just from plain sight, from what we did to what we have on video, it's hard to duplicate, you know, to get flares in a perfect line.
If these are flares, my footage right here, it would have to have been dropped, obviously, from an airplane and not fired straight up like these.
I think we're all pretty convinced that they were not fired from the ground. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for helping us out. This has been, you know, an enormous assistance to us.
It was all my pleasure.
X-Test 1 with the balloons we jettisoned right away because of wind and terrain. Test 4 with the flares looked good, but the smoke trail was a giveaway. Test 2, hanging LEDs, and Test 3, black card with LEDs, produced the best overall effect. Let's see what our witnesses think.
All right, so this is out on Lake Pleasant. We went out there and rented a boat, and once it got dark, we shot off some marine flares, and this is what they look like.
Well, I see them dropping, what appears to be quite rapidly. Yeah. On that, and also you see some evidence of as they're climbing before they ignite and they turn into the ball and come to a stop. It's sort of like a trail to it.
Right. And of course, if we were 15 miles away, maybe we couldn't quite see that part of it. You know, it's just a small little blip.
It's quite possible that that could have been something like that. But it's, like I say, compared to the flares that I've seen for all these many years, they did not resemble.
Let's move forward and take a look at the LEDs that we did here on your property.
The difference is I don't see that arch, you know,
Right.
at the beginning.
Right.
That would be very hard to recreate. It could be done.
That's awesome. That would fool a lot of people.
And then let's go to my personal favorite. It's the one we did with the fiber optics.
People would think it was really UFOs. The military would be very confused.
Oh yeah, they would really be extremely.
I think they'd start getting concerned.
It's good, but I gotta tell you, I still like the ones hanging on the wire with the airplanes in the background and the rest of them, and the light, because there's no light in the sky at all.
So your favorite is the LEDs.
I kind of like the LEDs for the fact that it's got a live sky.
Of course, if this is the way it really happened, that would mean Mike hoaxed it. And that seems unlikely to us.
Being analyzed, it proves that that somebody could make UFOs look just like the Phoenix Lights originally did.
So what are the odds of this happening again? You know?
Well, from the sound of things, it's
Your luck pretty good, I would imagine.
And we'll be back at least once a month now, just to visit the location, just to swim in the pool.
We have no problem with that. Just let me know so I won't be home.
Okay, you got it. Well, thank you both very much. This has been a real pleasure.
What was your favorite test last night?
I think my favorite was the fiber optics.
Why is that?
Hands down. Well, we got the character of the lights. They were small enough to look distant, and you got the character of them turning on and fading out. And I think that really kind of nailed the look.
Yeah, we didn't get that with the LEDs, which I liked because we had the interactive background and the whole sky and everything that we didn't have to block off. So,
the live sky was kind of nice.
Yeah, they didn't have that cool little winking on and off. You did a pretty good job with the electric at the end, but I think that was my favorite. And flares?
Flares was just for getting it out of our systems. But it did show us, I think, what a flare looks like.
The quality of the light, the way it kind of came on and then slowly went out like that.
Yeah. So how do you think the original was done?
You know, I think all of this has just kind of cemented my belief that it probably was some sort of military flares that we just don't have access to or we couldn't find information. Maybe it was an accidental release over the city. I know based upon your calculations, it was a lot closer than what everyone was thinking.
So around 15 to 30 miles.
Yeah, that wasn't not what we had read or, you know, any of the research we had seen and stuff. So, you know, it didn't really change my mind. So, you know, once again, I'll stick with the flares.
That's where I'm at.
Okay.
It was flares.
Sweet. That was solved. That was easy.
We got some walking to do.
You know how far it is to LA from here?
That way, I think.
That's like at least 8 miles.
Well, we better get hoofing. We got a show to do tomorrow.
You got a canteen or anything?
In 2001, Some ghost hunters from Utah were shooting night vision video in a pitch-black high school auditorium. There was no light source in the room other than an infrared beam from their camera. The investigators didn't see anything unusual until the next day, when they watched the video and noticed a phantom light in the corner. And then this shadowy ghost appeared. This ghostly figure may look like a shadow, but the investigators swear they were alone. And there was no source of light. What is it? Let's try and shed some light on the mystery of Haunted High.
Outstanding!
We invited the ghost investigators who shot the video to hang out with us at the school. They are Brendan Cook, a data administrator. Brendan's wife, Jenny Cook, a photo center manager. And Barry Boris, a machinist in the Air Force.
Your mind instantly starts racing, what could that possibly be? I mean, it has the shape of a person.
There was no one near where this apparition appeared. I know that for a fact.
I think there's definitely something here.
So when I first seen it, of course, first you think of a shadow, but it looked so much like a human form.
It was solid, except for the bottom. It was kind of transparent on the bottom, and it disappeared.
I'd never seen anything like that before, except for, you see it in movies and things like that. You don't see it on an actual ghost investigation. I mean, that's not the way that they appear.
Another session with a chiropractor.
It's time to unload the truck and set up for the first test.
We're okay.
Yeah, that's not going to do a whole lot. I'll need your help at this end.
I got the weight on this side. Let's get the smoke out.
I think there's a gallon of juice. Oh, it's top.
Fill up the Coliseum with this machine.
We're gonna need all of our equipment because, unfortunately, we don't have any theories for this ghost that don't involve a person walking in front of a light. We don't know who or what could have created this image, visible only in night vision. But who needs theories? Let's just wing it and see what we can do to create the effect. While Patrick goes off to prepare for the first test, Clark gets a wild idea and decides to switch gears.
Very good. We're so screwed. I don't know what we're doing, really. I'm gonna let him go his way, and when it fails miserably, I will step up and save the day.
Yeah, I might have my camera position just a little off.
Yeah. I think it's too far back.
And I need to pan a little to the left.
Yeah.
No, they're helping me set it up. They are our new X-testers. Pan it to the left.
Camera left?
Yeah, to your left.
I just say that's confusing.
Keep panning, keep panning. You're gonna go a little ways. You're gonna go a good 30 degrees, maybe.
I haven't even touched it yet, sir.
That was it. Wait, what just happened? Who just walked by?
I did.
Well, that was the effect. You just did it.
No kidding. Holy cow, I thought I'd never hear that from you. But I'm not allowed to answer any questions. I'm just here doing what Clark tells me to do.
Now, you might want the night vision for part of this. No, somehow it's been in your mind that we're doing this setup like with that. And I'm trying to tell you the whole time, that's not what this setup was for. This setup was to replicate their video.
You are so high. So just do what you're doing. Let me know if I can help you at all.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
So here's what's happening. The glass is simply reflecting the audience to make it look like it's the other side of the auditorium. Right up here, I've put a pool of light to create the pool of light that's from the camera. Patrick in his black suit will simply walk between the camera and that spot, and he'll just walk across here. Simple as that. Let's turn out the lights, please. Thank you. Alrighty. And Patrick, are you in the house? Still.
Don't talk to me.
So just walk across. Don't walk through the pool of light, but start, in front of the light beam and let it free-roll.
To me, it doesn't really even come close to that one. It just looks huge and like somebody's shadow on a wall.
What is that thing anyway?
It's Nixon.
Oh my God.
And yeah, you're getting into the shot there. You need to move over. And if you got to, you can kind of walk toward me if it keeps you out of the camera. Yeah, just a little taller. And you just came into the shot. So from right there, you got to come toward me.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. Yeah, you're etching into the shot, though. Uh-huh. Beautiful. That was it. Okay. Well, we got this. So, yeah, shall we move on? Wait, no, that's it. Okay, guys, lights up.
Reversible crap. Thank you. That's just what I was thinking.
On the one I seen here, when he came so far, he became in view of the camera. Whereas I think the one that we filmed, the shadow came further with no one in view of the camera.
Looks like a person being silhouetted against a wall with a big head, as opposed to upper half of a person walking down the aisleway there.
Just taking a shot in the dark, no pun intended, we decide to roll a wire mesh cutout down the aisle to see if a transparent figure would look anything like the ghost on the video.
We're gonna nail it on this one.
I don't remember asking you.
So not gonna.
Do you remember asking? Did you ask him? No. Let me be the deciding factor here. I think it's gonna blow.
Oh boy.
All right. Are you feeling good, Pat?
How does it look?
You're pretty good.
Okay.
All right. And action. The problem is we're getting it in the big pool and not in the little pool.
Right. Okay. So it should stay thinner more at the beginning and then fatten out later on?
Well, we could start a little bit higher, like another panel.
Okay, so let's go.
Start
here.
There. That's good. And action.
Well, I just mentioned the shadow's casting a shadow, so
that just looks wrong. Action. Okay. Let's bring house lights up. Please.
that one wasn't even close. It's just looks like Jello. I mean, it doesn't look like it's even walking, so.
Just when we were about to give up, the ghost hunters let slip a pretty important fact. They had another infrared camera in the balcony that night.
It was up in that corner, facing down this way.
That's right, okay.
Suddenly, this explains our mysterious light in the corner. Since it was infrared, the night vision would pick it up, while the naked eye wouldn't see it. This also means any of the ghost hunters present could have cast the shadow, which is what we decided to prove with our third test.
Why don't you go right in front of it? I want to see you in the middle of it, just to position your middle point. There. Go in a little more again. Into the light.
I can't hear him.
Tell you what, walk in. I'll give you the mark on where the lean has to happen. Exaggerate it a little more if you can. Okay, when you're ready, Patrick.
Hey, size doesn't matter. We nailed the effect. We'll just get Patrick to move down a row.
Come down one aisle. A little faster, a little more of a natural walk. I was about to ask him for one of those, but he did it for me. I was going to suggest a dog paddle, a real high dog paddling. All right, go ahead. That was it.
To me, at least, that really shows us, well, you know, that's the most logical answer. With this, I mean, you just compare the two. It looks so, it looks so similar.
So you feel pretty convinced then that it was just a fluke of people walking around?
I think definitely more than likely that's what it is. I mean, how else can you look at it?
That's actually an X-Tester's first, I believe.
A test well done.
We've had more information on this one about placement of things, placement of people, and so we were able to use that to, try to recreate the actual event, whereas many of our others were just going by a little visual thing, and it's just a lot of hit and miss going on.
Some of that's anonymous footage. We don't have a witness like this that can tell us, hey, there was another camera in there. And thanks, you guys, for being really good sports and hanging out tonight.
Absolutely.
And everything.
I enjoyed it. It was really fun.
Okay, well, come on. We got some stuff to pack up. Get busy.
Oh, we're going home.
Oh, that's our job, isn't it?
Yes, sir. So it was a lot of fun last night hanging out with the GIS gang.
I had a ball. And the tests went pretty well, too, I thought. I think once they told us about the extra cameras that were there, we were able to lay it out, and it just all made sense.
We did create a little doubt with the GIS gang as far as what they saw that night.
Yep, first one with the reflection. It had some promise, but didn't quite nail the exact look.
I'm scratching my head over that one still.
Well, sleep on it some more.
Okay. So mission accomplished.
I think so.
Most excellent. So where to now?
Off into the sunset.
The next adventure. Which is where, by the way?
I think it's downstairs.
Downstairs, down here.
Way down, all the way.
There's a phenomenon called flying humanoids that many believe are actually flying people. For years, these mysterious shapes have been appearing in the sky. This is the best example of a flying humanoid ever captured. Skywatchers believe this object is an alien propelled through the air by a jetpack. Taken by Rich Giordano in 2004, does this video supply significant evidence that we are not alone?
Where the heck are we now?
It appears that we've landed somewhere in Phoenix, Arizona. Home of Rich and Danny, who have that famous flying humanoid footage.
There it is.
You want to go inside and look at it?
I want to see it.
You just nod a lot. I'll do the talking, okay?
Let's meet the man who shot the footage. This is Rich Giordano, a mortgage broker, and his wife, Danny, a sales manager for a pool company.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about this flying humanoid you guys captured on videotape?
I was basically over here watering the plants, and I looked up and I saw what looked like a blood red dot in the sky. And I said, that's real interesting. So I ran over and I got my binoculars and looked up and saw that this object was not normal. Kind of had hard edges, looked like Legos in the sky. And then on the back, it looked like there was, believe it or not, like oxygen tanks or like what a scuba diver would have.
Jetpack.
Yeah, like a jetpack. And,
What was your impression when you saw them?
I actually didn't see it till I got home from work that day. I was on the phone with him while that happened.
I called her both times it happened.
A little bit of air traffic going around, I hear. You know, there's an airport nearby, I guess.
Yeah, there's, what is it?
Deer Valley Airport to the northwest
About 10
of
miles
here,
from here.
and there's actually Luke Air Force Base to the southwest of
And then we
here.
have the air park, Scottsdale Air Park, about 10 miles that way. So we're right in the middle of everything.
Okay, so you're over here and you were looking into what part of the sky?
Yeah, this way, because I knew it was going to come over right here, and then it went this way.
We're going to pull out some equipment. We'll try a couple of tests. So we get this together. Hey, welcome.
So let's get busy. Keep it light today.
For our first test, we'll start by inflating some Mylar party balloons with helium.
Patrick and I have put together a cluster of balloons, and we have a few different balloons. We've got the cluster, we've got a couple of human-type shaped balloons, and what we're going to do is fly them one at a time.
We're taping a red balloon to the middle of our cluster to fit with Richard's description of the flying humanoid.
Now let's make this his backpack. Let's combine these two.
That's a great idea. Alrighty. You got a nice fresh tape in there?
All ready to go? I say, let's cut it loose. Ready? That's it, baby. Can you see him?
Yeah, we see him fine. I'm shooting it. Hey, it looks like a man.
With the red thing on his crotch.
What is he? That's just X-rated. That's just gorgeous, Patrick.
Let's hear what Rich thinks.
But what you notice here is that this thing keeps going like this. It's moving back and forth, the whole thing. Not just the legs or the arms.
It's rolling, it's spinning, it's turning.
Yeah.
Yeah, the humanoid video is moving much more smoothly. Not as much jerking.
So there isn't any jerking motion on there, really.
You can almost see its legs hanging down and everything.
You can see the whole body. And then he's holding maybe a cloaking device or something in there where it could be his energy source.
We thought we had it locked with our first test, but we're going to do it again. And this time we're going to stabilize the balloons to better match the original.
We're going to attach these to just regular helium balloons. We've got 5 cluster out there, sort of to mimic more of the body. And there was that shape where it kind of looked like balloons there for a second. So I'll go down to the end of the street, and once again, we'll release the hounds.
Now you're setting these up because these can represent some legs just dangling.
Right, there was at one point where it looked like a couple balloons were just hanging lower, so we'll just fill these up with air and attach them to the string. So I'll call you when I get down in position, sir?
I got the phone ready.
Okay. T-minus 3 seconds.
Cast away.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, wow, it's going fast.
It's coming over the house.
This one might be interesting, huh?
Oh, this
might look like last year's one, maybe. Man, that's a good test right there.
Wow, it is cooking.
Let's see how we did on test 2.
It looks like a humanoid.
It
looks like
with
it.
The feet
Yeah, you
waving.
see the jet.
It's very close.
Look at the
See, this one is
That
starting
looked
to
like a humanoid right there.
That looks really good right there.
Yeah, that was cool.
So, what have we got? Test 1 was close, but not a match. Test 2 had less movement, so it was very similar to the original. Let's see what our witnesses think.
I don't know. After seeing the tests and seeing some similar shapes coming out of them, it's very possible it's balloons. Even though it's a little breezier today than it was that day, if these balloons just kept in a straight line without moving, then I would say for sure it was balloons. So, yeah, it's very possible now it's probably balloons. Could be. But, we're never going to really know, so I would have to say probably 60-40 it might be balloons.
Here you demonstrated that, in some cases they were able to move or fly when they were higher up in the air, very similar to the video that Rich shot.
So it's create a little doubt in your mind of whether it was an actual flying man.
Of course, I always had the doubt.
Right. For me, it's kind of raised a couple more questions.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm happy or sad yet.
All right. Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
You bet.
For coming out.
You bet,
Excellent
Danny.
work.
All right.
Hope we're back.
Yes, sweet.
Me too.
All right, well, let's get this place packed up and
Let's get out of here.
sweet.